Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So I thought it'd be a little bit of fun today to have a little bit of a lighter video. I was sitting around on a Sunday and I thought, hey, you know what, I have a bit of an idea and I got a little bit of inspiration. So quickly I'll plug a previous live stream that I did recently on the channel. The most recent one, this past Friday I brought in Bobby Brow was with me as has been the case the past while, and thanks you to him as usual for popping in and bringing in a lot of great conversation. But then we also invited Andy from Sports Card Investigator to join us. Now he had a recently controversial video where he talked about why he was not going to the National, but he did have a more provocative title that made the rounds and got a lot of people up in arms a little bit. But we did bring him on to chat a little bit about the video. So in the first section of it, we chatted about the video, the reaction to the video, and then how some people kind of interpreted his video and took it on a life of its own. But in all our discussions with him, it was a great conversation. He actually hung out for a little over 4 hours, so we had ourselves a great chat. The first chunk of it is actually where we discussed the video in question. So what I would say to you, I'm going to leave a link in the description. If you haven't seen it already, check out at least the first part of it, because at least you can get to know the guy behind the video and behind the channel a little bit. He was basically just expressing his opinion, and I honestly thought the video was harmless. I watched the video entirely prior to, and then I reached out and I said, hey, let's have a little bit of conversation on it, and Andy was gracious enough to come on and join us. So that'll be the first thing I'll lay out to you. So for tonight, I wanted to have a little bit of fun. So in the course of a conversation afterwards, Andy actually passed along this YouTuber, Daps Sports. So tonight's feature presentation is going to be discussing the Ode to Daps Sports. Or I don't know what the guy's name actually is, so I'm going to call him Daps Man. I'm sure he has a name, but I don't care what it is. Now here's the thing. I want to make clear right off the top. I'm going to poke a little bit of fun at Daps Man. But the thing is, in reality, I don't really have any issue with Daps Man or any other of a similar ilk, because there was a whole bunch of them that cropped up around the time as the hobby started booming, and they all follow within a certain parameters and certain things. But that doesn't mean I can't have a little fun at their expense. So just bear that in mind when you watch the video. I am doing a little tongue-in-cheek, just a little bit, but I'm also kind of having a little bit of fun at some of the common elements that I see in a lot of these videos. Now, the big illustrative, instructive piece that I really want you to take away from this is not that we need to vilify Daps Man. You know, he's just doing his thing. In the grand scheme of the hobby, he's relatively harmless, but at the same time, it is instructive that so many people do follow and gravitate to a lot of these channels when it's really obvious that they're still in the learning process, but now they've advanced to the point that a lot of even less experienced people now look to them as authorities, and that's problematic. And this video, it's going to be a little bit instructive, because I'm going to use one of his videos to show you. It's his most recent, so he's actually had some time. So just as background, what you need to understand is that he has been doing videos for about 11 months. So he's been in that thing for less than a year. So he's still relatively new to it, but he studied for months prior to the beginning of doing his channel, and he was inspired by Gary Vee. Now, quickly, I will point out, I don't have an issue with Gary Vee. I've actually read some of his books and stuff, and I don't have any issue with it, and I understand where a lot of this grind mentality, hustle, grind mentality comes from, but it tends to get kind of almost farcical. How many similar elements get repeated over and over again? But we're going to have a little fun with this one. So I want to give you that little preamble, just so you understand the context of the rest of the video. That way you get where I'm coming from. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have a little bit of fun with Daps Man. So with that said, let's get to the feature presentation, which is talking a little bit about Daps Man. Okay, so I'm going to take advantage of the static screenshots part of this, and here it is, Daps Sports. And there he is, Daps Man. Who could not love Daps Man? Like, look at him. He looks so happy. He looks so positive. And he's going to tell us about sports cards, because he is a veteran of 11 months worth of videos. So there's that. Now, in addition to that, not only that, like, look, the branding is on point, you guys. Like, he's got the backwards hat, and he's got the glasses and the logo with the backwards hat. And did I mention the backwards hat? And that's going to come into play in a couple of minutes here when we get into it. In reality, I have no personal issue or objection to Daps Man or any other similar creators that are represented by Daps Man, because I don't really feel myself needing to be a gatekeeper of the hobby. I'm not here to protect the hobby. The reality is, now I will try to inform. I'll try to lay out and give certain pieces of information. Like, the reason we're doing this video, in addition to me having some fun, is also that, look, there's a ton of channels like this. If I was going to freak out about every single one of these channels that adopt certain specific characteristics like this, I would have had an aneurysm, a heart attack, a stroke, all of the above simultaneously, and I would have had a blood vessel blow in my brain 11 months ago, let alone now, when there's still a bunch of them out there. With the market dipping, of course, we hear less from these folks. But when Andy presented this one to me, what I decided to do is I decided to look at his most recent, so that I could see, like, at this point, He's had more time to theoretically learn more about the sports card market. And, you know, being that we're talking about, like, he's got, you know, 3,000 subscribers. His last video did almost 3,000 views, and that's way more views than most of my videos will get, and I understand why. Because we're operating in very different demographics. We're using very different techniques. His thumbnails are way more exciting than mine, so I don't take that personally. It just is what it is. If I want to get more people to watch, I need more exciting thumbnails, I need more exciting titles, and obviously doing a top 5, or in this case, a top 6, stuff that I'm buying this week. Or, you know, to buy. Sorry, he says to buy this week. Let's make that clear. Giving recommendations and picks is something that a lot of folks are looking for. They're looking for the shortcut. They want the answer. And I've talked in the past about the picks videos and why I'm so picky about them. But like I said, do I have any personal issue with Daps Man or his ilk of content creator? Of course not. Because at the end of the day, they're a byproduct of where that market was and where it's been. And they're also a byproduct of they go away if nobody buys. And the fact is people are buying. So why am I going to blame the result on the initiating situation? Because if nobody pays attention, then they're going to go away. But you're paying attention, which means they have every justification to be here and sell you whatever ridiculous product they want to sell you. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But like I said, I have no personal issue with Daps Man. So therefore, in solidarity with Daps Man, as I do this video, I am going to pay tribute to Daps Man. This is a hat that I got on my buddy's bachelor party a couple of years back, because for some reason he's a masochist and decided to have a bachelor party in Cleveland, because people normally have bachelor parties in Cleveland when they're from Canada. So we went to Cleveland, you know, that's what he asked for. So we went to Cleveland and it was a good time. We were able to hang out at a couple of the breweries and stuff, and we went to the Football Hall of Fame. That was awesome, in Canton, so that was great. So while I was there, and we took in a Cleveland team redacted, still Indians at the time, Cleveland Indians game, and I picked up this hat. Not because I'm a big Cleveland Indians fan, but for God's sake, it's a C. I like to think the C stands for Carlos, and that's what I've decided it is. But here it is, and I've got it. So in solidarity with Hat Man, I am here, and there it is. I've got my hat on backwards. There it is. Apparently, over the age of 12, we wear our hats backwards, so that's a thing. So there it is. I have joined in solidarity with Hat Man. So now, let us see what Hat Man has to say.
What is up, guys? I am Daps. This is Daps Sports. We are back for another week of what I'm buying, and we have 6 investments that I want to share with you today. I think you might like.
Whoa, hold up. I'm only a couple seconds in, but there's something I need to address here. Is he wearing a snapback? He's wearing a snapback. And he's not even wearing it straight. Now, admittedly, I might not have worn this straight, so that's more the fact that I'm not wearing my glasses right now, and I'm just, look, I didn't want to wear my glasses and then try to wear this backward. Like, it's too much. But the point is, he's not wearing this damn snapback straight. And on top of that, why are you wearing a snapback? I thought this was a channel where we're going to make money. Why are we wearing a snapback? It's only a couple bucks more. It's like maybe 10, 15, 20 bucks more to get a fitted hat. Because it's a fitted hat. There's no snapping. What are we, peasants? I thought we were trying to make money here. You can't afford a freaking hat? And you don't know how to wear it? Do you need instructions? Do we need a follow-up video on how to wear your freaking hat? Anyway, I'm not 12. I'm not wearing this indoors when I'm doing this video. I've worn the hat inside before, but I was also coming from somewhere. If you're doing a pre-recorded video, you don't need to wear a freaking hat indoors. Unless you're wearing Fact 12. Anyway, not going to hold it against him too far. We'll calm down. We'll calm down. It's okay. Let's move on.
Also,
whoa, hold on. Sorry. I meant to continue playing for a little bit longer. But is that a bunch of logos in the background for the friggin' logo that he's got on the channel? I appreciate a little bit of branding, but this seems a bit excessive. How much of an arrogant, self-centered narcissist do you need to be to have your own channel logo just prominently displayed in the middle of a video outside of the regular YouTube thing? Who does that? Honestly, it's patently absurd. But again, we're going to try to get past this. We're going to try to focus on the content. The content is the key. Otherwise, we're just going to prejudge this man. It's just not fair. Now, admittedly, in the course of looking at this video, we're also going to notice that he has some things going on in the background. Those are repacks, which he's going to advertise on this thing. Let's hear a little bit more about what he has to say.
Also, Free Box Friday is tomorrow. What box are we giving away? You know the deal. You know the thing. You know the deal. I'll tell you later.
Well, that was Nightmare Fuel. That was way too many close-ups. I didn't need to see the man's face. And it really just emphasized how crooked that freaking hat is. Do we need an instruction manual with hats now? Is that a thing? Okay, sure. As you were, carry on.
Guys, you might also be wondering, what are these shiny looking bags behind me?
No, I'm not wondering what these shiny looking bags are behind you because they're not shiny. They're matte. The sticker's shiny, but the bags, read envelopes, are matte. It's the opposite of shiny. Matte. I know it seems like I'm being, you know, excessively picky, but it's like, come on, man. Quickly, before I continue, let me explain the point of this. Beyond me having some fun, poking some fun at this. The main point isn't me nitpicking every little individual thing he does wrong in this video. Because I could do that and it would be a longer video, but it would also be kind of entertaining again for me. Maybe nobody else would like it, but I would. But look, the reason why I'm being a little nitpicky is that, okay, I don't care if these videos exist because obviously I can't stop it. But at the same time, if somebody wants to watch it and they get entertainment from it, hey, go for it. Like, this video's got almost 3,000 views. I'm not going to knock that. Obviously somebody enjoys it. Fine, no problem. But my opinion, this is where I draw the line. If you're going to do a picks video, which again, I don't think is a good idea for people to be really following picks videos. That's my opinion, because by the time you get this information, the information's out of date already. At best, you're reporting the news. So, and then you're trying to kind of, in your own way, influencing kind of people's behavior. So if you're going to do that, so be it. But the problem is, if you're going to do it, then I have to hold you to a different standard. If I sit here and explain to you, and I did this when I did my system, and I explained the different buckets, and I used some examples, the whole time I'm saying, these are not picks, I'm not telling you to go after these players, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use them as examples of how I evaluate. Use the evaluation part, because then maybe you completely disagree. I use as one of my high-risk guys, Sam Darnold. So I got the card right here. I use Sam Darnold as an example of a guy where if he's able to recover and improve in Carolina, you can get some of this cheap. And I believe that if that comes to pass, then math would say that the card prices would rebound and improve. But guess what? If he sucks, the price goes down. So that's a risk you're taking. So my point was the risk factor. So ignore him. You can try Deshaun Watson. You can try somebody in baseball. I don't care who you pick. It doesn't matter. The point is, and I don't care which card you pick. That's up to you. You should be doing your research on that part. You figure out that part. But I gave you the rationale. That's the point. The point is I explained why. And then after that, pick anybody you want. The whole repack thing, whatever, I'm less concerned about it. It doesn't bother me as much. It's for some people, this is like a holy war with the repack thing. What I'll ask you is this. If you would like me to do a video explicitly talking about repack products, I'm certainly happy to do so. I do have some opinions on it. You may be disappointed at how not violently in oppose I am, but I can explain and give a little bit of context of why and why they don't bother me so much. But that would be a separate video. So if you do want me to talk about that, let me know in the comments and we'll go from there. Now, my teasing aside about silly things, when you're doing a pick video, you're basically playing the role of an analyst. And when you're playing the role of an analyst, what I really need from you is then, I don't care what you pick, you explain your justification, you are very specific in your things, but then when I'm treating you as an analyst, here's the thing. Your credibility to me is going to be 100% based on how successfully you're able to make sure you're very careful with the details. Because in this is not the time where you need to be sloppy. It's one thing if you're doing it live, off the cuff, someone asks you specifically about a player and you weren't prepared, you didn't do any studying, you don't have any numbers in front of you, you don't have a script, you don't have any of that stuff. If you're doing it off the cuff, you're liable to make mistakes. That's very realistic. That's normal. But if you're doing it pre-recorded, edited heavily, like this is edited heavily, this video I'm doing right now is edited. I'll still probably make a couple of mistakes in it, but at least I have a shot at fixing some of them. And by the way, I'm going to edit it. When I edit this video, I'm the one doing the editing. So if there's an egregious mistake, I have the chance to fix it in post. So if you see an egregious error in this or any other video I've done, then I've really done a bad job because I had a second chance to look at it. I had a chance to watch every single frame of this thing in order to make sure that I had it more or less right. The reason I'm bringing that up right now is because that's foreshadowing for this is the first video of his I've ever seen. This is his most recent video. And if this is indicative of the quality you can expect from it, it's embarrassing to me that anybody watches this video. And again, I'm not just picking on this guy because he's hardly the only one that does this. Again, all love to Daps man. But at the same time, why? Just why? And there's little details all over the place that he does where there's little mistakes and they're completely avoidable. And again, it's indicative, how little do you care about what you're doing really? You're trying to make money on this thing, but you really don't give a crap about the basic details. And if you don't care about the basics, just why should I listen to anything you have to say? Why should I give you $1? But people are indicative, but that's indicative more of you as the audience than it is him as the entrepreneur trying to get your money. Because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get your money, which I'm not begrudging him for. Wear your incorrectly aligned backwards cap is to your heart's content until the day you too can afford a proper pro-fitted hat and stop being a peasant. With that said, let us continue the video to the piece that I particularly wanted to focus in on.
All right, guys, check this card out. We just pulled this on the live stream the other night. It's a Justin Herbert green scope. Check this out, guys. See the scope print in the background? Wow, guys, this is gonna be numbered out of 75. Last card raw sold for $900. Last PSA 10 sold for almost $4,000. My prediction is that $4,000 card will easily hit $5,000, all right, by August 30th.
Did you see the problem? Did you catch it? It was pretty quick if you weren't paying attention. That's why I cut it down to that specific clip only. Did you see what it was? It's not the card. It's not the pick. I don't know. Justin Herbert might do fine. I can't answer that. But here's the thing. He showed you the example of the card he had in his hands that they had pulled in a break. Sure, fine. He showed you the example of the card selling raw on eBay. Great, fine. Did you see the $4,000 card? It's not the same card. See, isn't it annoying when you do extreme close-ups and then do the cut? Isn't that weird? Isn't that... It's annoying. Maybe don't do it. Plus my face was ridiculously red on that one. Sorry. Anyway, the point is, when you're going about it, it becomes critical that if you're going to have an edited video where you have the opportunity to do it in post, because you have to add those pictures in post. He didn't have it, the image didn't magically appear while he was recording the video. He literally sat there, recorded the video, and quoted you a $4,000 price tag for a card that is actually a different card. You've got the green Herbert, and then you've got the graded one, which is the autograph version. And there's some people in the comments who did catch it, who did realize it's like that's a completely different card. Not like fundamentally different. I understand it's the same set, same year, but it's a different card. When you're talking about the autograph version, then you're going to get a fundamentally different price because it is, even though I think they're both out of 75 if I'm not mistaken, the autograph version is going to be more desirable. Hence the price is going to be higher, which means you misled your audience. And you made a really dumb mistake that was completely fixable that you did in editing and also did verbally in the video. So what the hell are you doing? That's the question. Like, you picked the example, you picked the card, you picked the raw example, and you picked the graded example. That's not a small mistake, especially considering that was your last card in your picks. The one expectation I have in this kind of video is get the facts right, especially when you get a chance to edit it. You realize you made a mistake, cut that piece, reshoot it, do whatever you got to do. Like, you're not opposed to reshooting it. Do you see how many cuts and camera angles there are on some of these things? You had every opportunity. Somebody had to watch it and be like, yeah, I'll put it in here, fine, whatever. Doesn't that card look different? Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Doesn't make a difference. Imagine if somebody else did that. Imagine if you did it that way. Hey, guys. So you can buy the Juan Soto 2018 Topps Chrome rookie card, which can sell for almost $100 raw or almost $3,000 graded. Imagine if that's what you saw. By the way, similar idea, right? Same kind of card. Oh, is it because it's back? No, it's a different card. It's actually, it's a parallel of the card. It's the autograph version. And of course, it should be worth more. And I'd love to have the second card, by the way. So, I would. But, little in my price range. But the point is that it seems like a minor detail, but a lot of the folks watching this don't know any better. Some folks, like I said in the comments, did catch it. And we'll see if they eventually acknowledge it, and even in the comments acknowledge it, anything. But it's testament to how sloppy the work being done is. The research being done is. It's like, what's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit we can do here that, sure, here's a recommendation. Justin Herbert, he's a quarterback in the NFL, go for it. I listened to another video, and I'm not going to use 100 examples in this video. I'm kind of made my point now. I saw a different video on a similar creator who has also been around for a very short period of time, and he did a Q&A where he outlined that he's a shoe guy who decided to get into this. Did 6 months of research, because apparently that's enough now, and then decided to become a flipper for it. Decided to go do it. Have they managed to make some money on it? For sure. There is opportunities for arbitrage. You can do that. And if you're going to grind, then you could probably make some, especially when the market was going. Now it's going to be a little tougher for some of those guys. It's not impossible, but it can be done. But the point is that with a lot of these guys, the amount of effort they're putting into it in terms of thinking things through, the thought processes are not completely developed, and you can tell. Because he also is kind of a believer in the idea of maybe Sam Darnold as a reclamation project, which I mentioned already earlier in this video. But again, I don't make it a recommendation. I don't make it a pick. I have very specific reasons for outlining it. But even his explanation of it, he was strictly looking at it as, well, it's cheap, so if it goes up, it'll make me more money. Well, yes, that's true. But you didn't actually explain the risk factor of it fully. You're basically just operating under that idea of like, oh, well, here's something that's cheaper. This other thing that I think is similar is more expensive. Therefore, this could be a bargain. That's very lazy analysis. You may end up being correct because, like I said, I believe the same thing, but I have at least done a modicum of research and I understood exactly what the risk factor is, and it could very well go to zero. Just so we're clear. Not completely zero because the cards won't go to zero. But the point is, it could be, there's just as much likelihood of it being more of a Johnny Manziel kind of situation or being more of a Ryan Leaf situation. Not quite as bad because at least Sam Darnold played a bit, but it's the Jets, and there's always the opportunity that the Jets and the coaching staff and everything they had might have been the problem. If he has the work ethic and the willingness to fix it, they saw some potential in the guy, so if Carolina can get something out of him, there's always a chance. And when I did my video, I said, I'm not looking for him to become a superstar or become an all-pro. I'm not looking for him to go to the Pro Bowl. I'm looking for him to become Ryan Tannehill. And if we manage that, I'm already kind of ahead. It's an improvement. So as much fun as this video has been, kind of making fun of Daps Man, the point is, pay very close attention to for whom you use, picks or for whom you use for advice. A lot of them really haven't done the work. And, it's not hard to tell. I'm not going to naturally exclude everybody who's only been in it for a little while. You can learn a lot in a very short period of time. It is possible. But traditionally, it's very difficult to go from 0 to all the way to 100 without having taken some of the steps in between. Because in this case, a lot of them just tried to hit the accelerator and took every shortcut. And then all of a sudden, less than a year in, you're doing repack products. You've got branding up the wazoo everywhere you can possibly have branding. You've got basically your whole situation situated so that you can find every possible avenue with which to extract money. If you go to the guy's website, he's got basically his own logo and branding all over it. It's Daps Sports, and while I'm talking this part, hopefully I'm showing it to you on the screen. And the thing is, you can see it, so you can see it. But here's the thing, even this thing, you'd think there'd be some consistency? Well, forget that. How about this? He adds the Z for the S, so when you look at brakes with a Z, boxes with an S, packs with an S, pulls with a Z, slabs with an S. So it's like, where is anything resembling some kind of consistency? And Daps racks, of course, with 2 Z's, not just one. But here's the thing. You might think I'm being nitpicky, but it is indicative of someone who is too lazy to even try to have any kind of consistency in anything they do. You don't have the time to, sometimes I put an S, sometimes I put a Z, whatever. I don't know, who cares? No one cares. They're going to click on the thing. They just want the thing. Well, that can work. Obviously, there is proof. The proof is in the pudding that people don't care. That it's very obvious that you don't care. And if you don't care, why should anyone with half a brain cell care? But the good news is, thousands of subscribers, thousands of views. This is the guy we're getting picks from. Him and others like him. And that's a whole subgenre. Like I said, at the end of the day, Daps Man is only one of many. Specifically, do I have a problem with this guy? Not really. He's just one of many who have followed the exact same path, and people have given him oxygen. And because they've given him oxygen, he's had the chance to grow. And you know what? For his sake, I hope he continues to grow. I hope he gets 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, whatever. I hope he markets a whole bunch of that merch, sells shirts, sells hats, sells everything. He probably does. I think he does have merch. So there you go. You can buy all your Daps merch and be part of the Daps Man team, or whatever he's calling it. But that's what it is. It's folks that saw the dollar signs, which I'm not morally opposed to. It's business is business. But we're like, what's the shortcut? What's the fastest way I can do this? And the people that are watching it are like, oh yeah, thanks for the information. Indicative of, you're just not willing to do the work. And if that's the path you want to go in, well, then you deserve Daps Man. I hope he takes all your money. I'm not here to protect you. Neither is a lot of us. Be honest, send him all your money. I'll enjoy it. It'll be fun. But anyway, so that's it for this time around. Hopefully you kind of understand where I'm coming from on this one. I just wanted to outline some of the issues that I have with stuff like this. And by issues, I do mean it's silly to me, but at the same time, I understand it. But I can still put the information out there. Hopefully, if you are not familiar with how some of this goes, you can look for some of these various factors, and hopefully it helps you in some way. And otherwise, maybe you at least had a chuckle. Hopefully that, if we can at least get that done, then at least it's something. Anyway, back with regular videos back on the channel coming up. If you haven't already, if you could hit the like button, I would appreciate that. Hopefully, someday I can aspire to get the kind of views Daps Man gets. Maybe I need to wear my hat backwards. Or make some pics. One or the other, we'll see. But, you know, at least, listen, I'll have the decent, I can promise you one thing. I will never have the lack of decency to shamelessly put my logo all over a video. Because that would just be wrong. Just wrong. Anyway, like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like. Subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other videos. I'll have it somewhere floating in space here. So that's it for me this time around. We're just having a little bit of fun here. And I'll catch you in the next one.